Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Stupendous Wave, and in this video we'll be talking about Gorosaurus possibly being the main antagonist in Kong Skull Island, or just appearing in some sort. So this is very interesting, and I think that it's something that actually would make a lot of sense if you allow me to explain myself. Now, real quick, I did do a full-length podcast where we talk about this with Jack Ewens. If you want to check that out, it's on my channel, and we just have a really good time talking about Godzilla versus Kong, King Kong in general. And I brought this up in the podcast. I said, so what do you think about Gorosaurus possibly being in Kong Skull Island? Do you think that's a possibility? And he said yeah, and that he had actually been thinking about that himself. Now, for those of you that don't know Gorosaurus, and I assume that there's quite a few of you that don't, he has actually only appeared in one Godzilla movie, and that is Destroy All Monsters. And he didn't play a huge role, but he was indeed in the movie, and then he was in a King Kong movie actually the year before that, King Kong Escapes. So this is one of the few kaiju that actually transcends the different monsters, basically, with him first appearing, as I said, in King Kong Escapes, and then later, actually the next year, he was featured in Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. So he has been involved in both monsters' respective series, basically, and I think that's very unique and very interesting. Now, he has not been used after Destroy All Monsters, which came out in 1968, which to me seems forever ago. I don't know about you guys, but it's just very interesting that he was in the King Kong movie initially, and then after that Toho decided to place him in a Godzilla movie. So this is what has been getting me, and I'm sure a whole lot of other people, thinking is if they wanted to link these two kaiju basically with the announcement of Godzilla vs. Kong coming out in 2020, and then of course we have Kong Skull Island, which is set to release in 2017, and we already have Godzilla 2014, introducing a kaiju that is known for appearing in both monsters movies would be very interesting and very smart, I think, on the studio's part. I think that it would be cool to introduce him only as a Kong villain. He might show up as a Godzilla villain later on, although I find that less likely, but as a Kong villain, I think he makes a little bit more sense. Now, we did get the Vistatosaurus Rex in 2005 King Kong, which is a fan favorite, not really a kaiju, but he's a fan favorite evolved dinosaur. But I don't think that they'll be going with a Vistatosaurus Rex this time around. But if you look at Gorosaurus, he looks very similar to the Vistatosaurus Rex. And the reason they wouldn't go with Vistatosaurus Rex is because they have to significantly size up Kong to the point where he would be able to basically contend with Godzilla. They're going to have to make him huge. And the Vistatosaurus Rex, they can always size him up as well. But instead of taking the Vistatosaurus Rex, I think that they will be taking something similar. And the Gorosaurus, like I said, you look at it and it looks fairly similar to like the Vistatosaurus Rex or the Terminus Rex. If it's updated, if you take an updated design, obviously it doesn't look exact with its original Toho design, but if they updated it, which I'm sure they will if they use it, it would look pretty similar to the Vistatosaurus Rex and the Terminus Rex. I find that very interesting, and also Gorosaurus came first by a long shot, so that's really interesting. Also, it's basically just a kaiju that doesn't have any real special abilities. So if King Kong doesn't really have any special abilities, he might still have his lightning powers. That's really up in the air at this point. A little bit less likely, but it's still a possibility. I think he would be a good opponent for him because he doesn't have any of that like atomic breath like abilities or EMPs either. He's basically just got to fight with what he is, and that's similar to what King Kong is. King Kong is going to have to fight by being faster and just brute strength. So I think that they would go well as opponents. So like I said earlier, they would obviously have to update Gorosaurus' design, but I don't think that would be hard. Toho, I know that nowadays they look a little bit cheesy, but you can also see like the Showa monsters. I think the Heisei and Millennium monsters totally hold up. You could throw them in a legendary movie and the designs would be great. But the Showa era monsters, a few of them like Mechagodzilla still holds up perfectly, and I love the designs, but the thing about it is they're just so perfect and so unique that if you update them even slightly, make them slightly more realistic, they seem to be instantly iconic. Now, here's the thing with Gorosaurus that I think would be great, because with general audience members, they're expecting in Kong Skull Island for him to face off against something similar to a Vistasaurus Rex or similar to a T-Rex, because that's what Kong has done in the past. He's faced off against something like that. But for the more hardcore fans that know exactly what Gorosaurus is and know exactly that it has linked to the Godzilla franchise as well, I think that would be very smart to use it. And I think Gorosaurus, really, since he's only appeared in 2 films, and I've never met anyone whose favorite kaiju is Gorosaurus. I've met a lot of people that really like him, myself included, and they think it's a cool design, but he's really not anyone's favorite because he's only appeared in 2 films and he's had very minor roles. So I think that this is the perfect kaiju to link the 2 of them. Hardcore fans are going to know right away, hey, that's Gorosaurus, he was in a Godzilla movie. All the pieces are starting to fall together with this mixed kaiju universe, with Godzilla versus Kong being the ultimate little battle at the end. Not little at all, but the ultimate battle towards the end of, I want to kind of say, the Kaiju Legendary Series Phase 1. We don't really know about a Phase 2, but I'm hoping that it's successful enough to warrant more movies after Godzilla vs. Kong. But at this point, I think it would be a nice little connector for the big finale, Godzilla vs. Kong, kind of seeing like, yeah, like not really directly saying they're in the same universe, but since he showed up in a Godzilla movie and now a King Kong movie, it really would make more sense if you guys understand what I'm saying. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave in thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think about Gorosaurus appearing in Kong Skull Island? I really hope he does, or something similar to him. So again, thanks and have a great day.